So in today's video, we're going to be comparing all of the Chomper's Spikeweed abilities, including the brand new Vampweed. No, I won't stop. So this video is sponsored by Cyberpower UK. They build a lot of awesome PCs. If you do want to go check it out, I will leave the link down in the description. So what is going on, guys? Welcome to another Garden Warfare 2 video. Today is another ability comparison video, and today we're going to be comparing the Spikeweed, the Spiky Spikweed, and the Vampweed. Now, as always, we do take a look at the descriptions when we do an ability comparison. The Spikeweed says, laying Spikeweed traps is a great way to ambush zombies. If they walk over the Spikeweed, they'll get ensnared and are easy to chomp. The Spiky Spikeweed says the Spiky Spikeweed deals more damage to zombies it ensnares, but only a few can be deployed at a time. And the Vampweed says when a zombie stumbles into a Vampweed, you get a helpful health boost. The zombie isn't hurt, but he probably feels a little bit silly for falling into your trap. So there you go. From the description, you can see that the Spikeweed deals damage, the Spiky Spikeweed deals more damage, but you can place less down, and the Vampweed deals no damage, but it actually heals your character, which I think is very unique and can come in handy quite a lot. Now, when we do these ability comparisons, we do take a lot of things into consideration. The first one is the cooldown of these abilities. Unfortunately, there is no difference between the cooldown of these Spikeweed abilities. Every single one of them, from placing one down, will take 1 minute to recharge to be able to place another one down. Now, one thing which is really a key factor in this comparison video is the Spikeweed. You can place 4 of them down at any one time. The Vampweed, you can also place any 4 of them down at one time. But the Spiky Spikeweed, you can only place 2 down. So you can place nowhere near as many Spiky Spikeweeds down on the ground as you can with the other 2 abilities. Now, to try and compensate for that, the Spiky Spikeweed does deal the most amount of damage, because the standard Spikeweed will deal 25 damage twice, so that means you can deal a total of 50 damage in a single Spikeweed. The Spiky Spikeweed will deal 35 damage twice, so that'll deal a total of 70 damage, can almost take out an imp. I'm sure if you goop him, that would take him out. And the Vampweed, of course, you can't deal any damage at all. Now, even though you can't deal any damage with the Vampweed, I still feel like this may be the best ability, because once you get a zombie trapped in it, it'll actually heal your character by up to 40 health, which is really, really good. And the fact that when a zombie is trapped in the Spikeweed, you can simply swallow the zombie, you're going to get yourself an easy vanquish and heal yourself in the process when you're getting that zombie ensnared. Now, personally, I think the Vampweed is the best ability in this video. The reason for that is most of the time I tend to use my Spikeweeds when I'm sneaking up behind a zombie or I see a zombie in the turbo twister, so there's no real reason for me to deal damage to them, because as soon as they're ensnared, I tend to swallow them anyway, so I'd rather get that health boost rather than dealing damage to them when I'm going to swallow them anyway. I rarely see myself placing the Spikeweeds down on objectives waiting for a zombie to stumble on them and I hopefully get the vanquish. I just tend to save them in my ability bar, so when a turbo twister or a Captain Deadbeard in his barrel blast decides to walk along, I can place one down, get him ensnared, and get the vanquish. So, like I did mention, I'd rather get the health for that rather than dealing damage when I'm going to swallow the zombie anyway. It just doesn't make any sense. So, that's my personal preference. I really do prefer the Vampweed over the other 2 Spikeweeds. But of course, it also depends on what game mode you're playing. If you're playing Boss Hunt, you may want to use a Spikeweed because it's going to deal more damage to, like, maybe foot soldiers or things like that. Or even then, you might want to use a Vampweed because you can heal yourself. I don't know, it's entirely up to everyone's opinion, but I personally think the Vampweed is the best ability. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you do give it a like down below. Thank you very much for watching. My name is ZEROxFUSIONZ, and hopefully I'll catch you guys next time.